Hello, thank you for joining us today for the next webinar in our What's New series. Happy New Year, everyone. Perhaps you've got a new resolution to improve the way you use your technology. Perhaps you want to finally stop working on documents via endless back and forth emails. Hopefully this webinar is the first stepping stone in helping you to do that, or at least encouraging your team to do that if you're already doing it. In today's webinar, we'll cover some of the newest features in Microsoft 365 that you can implement in your business, as well as covering some brand new features that give us a bit of an insight into the future of where Microsoft is heading. Don't feel like you need to take notes or take it all in straight away, as we'll be sending out a recording of the webinar along with a follow-up fact sheet. Also, if you have any questions, please do feel free to drop those into the Q&A box at the side at any time. There will be a dedicated time for questions at the end of the webinar, but if there's something that occurs to you as we're going along, I will do my best to answer those as we see them. I've already had a hello in there, so hello to you, Imran. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, it's really great to see such a high turnout today. Obviously, a lot of people have come up with this new idea of new year, new way to use our technology, so that's great to see. Okay, looking forwards then. In the agenda for today, we'll be looking at new features to improve your presentations in PowerPoint, updates to search results in Teams, sheet views in Excel, the new raised hand feature, which I know a lot of people have been waiting for some time, shared channels and chat features in Teams, and then finally, we'll be taking a look at the end of how you can implement some of these in your business, or perhaps next steps if you're not quite sure what to do, how we can help you going forwards. So, as I said, we've had a fantastic turnout today, and I'm really pleased to see that we've got lots of people returning who've been here previously on last year's webinars, as well as lots of brand new faces. So thank you very much for joining us today. I'm really pleased to see so many of you. So welcome to everyone. My name is Jennifer Benge, and I am the marketing manager at Bedrock. Bedrock is an IT managed service provider and a Microsoft partner. This means that most of the tech we implement is based on the Microsoft stack. This includes Microsoft 365, Teams, Azure, SharePoint, etc. We're also experts in secure, resilient networks and managed IT solutions where high performance is absolutely critical. This means that we work with some of the organisations that have some of the highest security requirements across the UK. So really tight security and high quality stuff is our middle name, and we would like to implement as much as we can in that secure space. The most important thing we want to achieve, no matter what your organisation does, is to help your business grow better. We do this with the help of our 8 rocks. These rocks are security, quality of service, backup, data, skills, investment, strategy, and finally, collaboration, which is the focus of today's webinar. This collaboration rock is so important because many people have Teams or other collaboration tools within Microsoft 365, but aren't using them to their full capacity, meaning they're not actually getting the most value out of their investment in their technology. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of the newer features that you might be able to implement in your business to get the most out of your apps and technology. So we'll be starting with recording a presentation with narration and slide timings. Perhaps this could be another one of your New Year's resolutions to work a bit on your presentation style or really utilise PowerPoint to make the most out of your presentations and team meetings. To get ready to record, all you need to do is go to Record Slideshow on either the Recording tab or the Slideshow tab of the main menu ribbon. You can see in the top left image there a button that says Record Slideshow, which will then show you drop-down options, which are similar to when you are going to start a presentation, which include Record from current slide or Record from the beginning. The clear option there will only appear if you've already recorded something on that slide. So it won't appear if you don't have anything recorded already. The slideshow opens in a recording window, which looks similar to a presenter view if you're doing a Teams meeting, for example, with buttons at the top left for starting, pausing, and stopping the recording. Click the round red button when you are ready to start the recording. A 3-second countdown ensues, and then the recording begins. You can record audio or video narration as you run through your presentation. The buttons at the lower right corner of the window allow you to toggle on the microphone, camera, and camera preview. So you might want to record your presentation just with the voiceover, or you might want to also include your video feed. So you can do either, whichever suits you best. In this process, what you record is embedded in each slide, and the recording can then be played back in the slideshow. At this stage, a video file isn't created, but you can do that if you wanted to. So if you wanted to do that, you can select Publish to Stream, and then you'll create an MP4 file that you can then use as a video with the recorded sound or video on top of your slideshow. So let's take a look at how we do this in practice. So in order to record a presentation, go to your presentation within PowerPoint itself, select Slideshow or the Record button at the top, and then you'll get that drop-down menu that we looked at the previous slide. So either record from current slide or record from the beginning. It then opens that presentation window, and you can select the record button and get yourself a countdown in order to start talking. It's worth noting that each slide is recorded separately. So if you mess up on one slide, you don't actually have to go back and record the whole thing all over again. So you can stop and pause in between slides as much as you need to. You don't need to completely memorize everything in one go. Let the slide transitions play before you start recording your voiceover. And again, you can do each slide individually. Any of the markup buttons that you might use sometimes within a PowerPoint presentation can be saved as part of the recording. So if you're making a recording of a presentation and you want these markups to appear every single time you play the recording, that's absolutely possible. Just mark up the presentation as you normally would, and they'll be recorded. You can select Clear to remove the timing or narration, and you can remove that narration from either individual slides or the entire deck. Once you're done, just click File and select either Save or Export, and that will be your slideshow saved with any of your voiceover, video, or markups written in there. So why might we use this? I think if you wanted to use a recorded presentation as part of staff training, or if you wanted to repeatedly share a certain presentation without recording it in a Teams meeting, that's a really smart way to do it. You could also, in fact, once you finish this, export it as an MP4 file, and then embed the presentation with a voiceover or video into a web page to make it more available for a larger group of people. So instead of having a recorded Teams meeting, which can sometimes get a bit messy if you've got people asking questions that aren't always applicable going forward, you could just have the recorded presentation that you could use as a feature to direct people towards if they're new, perhaps if they're starting a new project, and have it embedded in a place where everyone can reach it easily. You might also actually use this as a training method for yourself. So if you can listen to yourself speaking on recording, which I know a lot of people hate, I do, then it's a training method you could use to practice your presentation in the run-up to a big conference or something, and decide on timings, listen to your intonation, and really perfect it. We're going to stick with PowerPoint for our next slide and look at how we can link to a specific slide. Now, this could be really useful if you want to collaborate with someone within your organisation or even externally to help you edit a certain slide within a presentation. So to do this, you just need to go to the list of slides along the left-hand side of your PowerPoint, right-click on the one that you would like help with, and you'll see in the drop-down menu there's a new feature that appears called Link to this slide. When you click on this button, you will get this pop-up. So a sharing card will appear. This will allow you to create a link to direct people directly to that slide itself. You can see at the bottom on the left-hand image there's the option to change how that sharing link works. So when you click that button, it goes to the list in the right-hand side of link settings. Within this link setting list, you can choose to share that link externally with anyone who's you send the link to, just with people within your organization, or with specific people whose email address you send it to. You'll see at the bottom of that menu too, there is a button for allow editing. Obviously, if you want someone to be able to edit the slide for you and help you out with that, you must click that allow editing button, else they'll just be able to look at it and not help you with the actual editing. So make sure you tick that box if you want someone to be able to edit the slide for you, and then apply. Once you've done that, go back to the link, copy the link, and you can then paste it to anywhere where you collaborate with your colleagues. So you could copy that into an email, into a Teams chat, whichever method you use to share it with your colleague. It's important to note that the person you share this link with will have access to the entire deck, not just the slides you want them to help with. But this link just means that they'll be taken straight to the slides that you've selected for them to help with. It just makes things a bit easier without having to go to them and say, no, I want you to edit number or whatever, or this particular slide. It just takes them directly there. You don't have to faff about too much. Next up, we have changes to search results in Teams. The new Teams search results experience features a redesigned user interface with 4 tabs aligned to the types of information that users search for most frequently. So whereas before everything just got chucked in one big long list and you had to search through for what you needed, Teams now automatically sorts everything into these categories for you. So these categories are all, messages, people, and files. Using AI, your search surfaces the most relevant results in an easy to read full page format. So the all feature is still there. So if you're not sure what type of information you need, all is the place to start. So you use the search tab at the top of the page, and when you click all, you get all the most relevant search results, including messages, people, and files. So you can see in these images here, I've used an event we actually ran last year, which had the acronym TSU. So when I search TSU in my Teams search bar, it will bring up files, including Excels and Word documents that are saved within Teams. And I can also search in the chat box in the messages menu item, just to show me all the messages that involve that acronym. So it's in actual fact, messages are the most searched for information in Teams, and the redesigned messages tab speeds and simplifies the search by returning results from messages only. So you're not having to sift through loads of folders or different results in order to find the message that you want. And I think that makes a lot of sense. We've all been there where we know something got mentioned within a Teams chat, but we can't quite remember which conversation it happened in, and you just need to check back and find out perhaps someone was giving you direction of how to find something or asking you to complete an action, and you just need to go back and find that message where that happened. Search is a new way to find that more easily. You can see in that right-hand image as well, there's also the option to filter your search results even further within messages. So you can choose to filter by type, date, other attributes, including if it mentions you, has an attachment, and you can also click to hide apps and bots within that search. So hopefully, going forwards, this should be a much easier way to find the information you're looking for within Teams. Moving on now to Excel. Excel doesn't often get a lot of love in these What's New webinars because there's not often new stuff that we can talk about that's much to do with the collaboration, but this is actually a really useful feature, I think, so I was really excited to share this with you. Sheet views in Excel. So I don't know about you, but sometimes I've been working on an Excel sheet and all of a sudden everything changes, data disappears. There's a panic moment thinking, did I just delete that data? Where's it gone? Is my spreadsheet haunted? What's going on here? What that often is there's someone else working in the same spreadsheet as you at the same time. And when they filter the data or create a new sort, all the data will change for everybody viewing it. So all of a sudden you could be looking at a massive set of data, it gets filtered and it looks like everything disappears. It's also pretty disruptive when that happens if you're working on a certain bit of data and it's suddenly not there anymore. So the answer to this is sheet views. Sheet views are a way of letting you create customized views in Excel worksheets without being disrupted by others. So you can set up a filter to display only the records that are important to you and that you're working on at that point in time. This means that you won't be affected by other people sorting and filtering the document. You can even set up multiple sheet views in the same worksheet and save those with different names so you can go back to them at different times. Any cell level edits that you make or the other person working on that spreadsheet makes will be automatically saved in the workbook, regardless of which view you're in. So everyone still has the most up-to-date data, but they're just maybe looking at a different part of it. So in order to do this, you just need to select the worksheet where you want the sheet view, then click to view, sheet view and new. So when you click that view button in the top menu, on the left-hand side, you'll get this sheet view section. Apply the sort or the filter that you want, and Excel will automatically name your view temporary view to indicate that the sheet view isn't saved yet. So you can do that if you're just working on something quickly. You don't need to save it. You can just get on with what you do and then remove it afterwards. If you do want to save it, that's absolutely possible. You can see on the bottom left image on the screen, you can click the Save and Keep button, and that will also then allow you to name the view that you're on. And you can go back to that at any time. If you don't want to save it, just click the Exit button and the view will go back to what everyone can see at that point. So again, really useful, I think. It's just a feature that will help you not get disrupted when you're trying to work on a sheet and other people are working on it at the same time. We've got a question here about the sharing, which was the previous slide. Is share based on library permission? We do not allow external sharing. Absolutely. So you might have seen on the menu when I had screenshotted, we don't generally allow external sharing either of certain documents, and that external sharing button would just be grayed out. So if you've got a policy that certain documents aren't allowed to be shared externally, no one within your organisation will have that option to share externally. So that's a simple, secure way of keeping everything under the same policies and permissions. Okay, let's look next at ordering of raised hands in a team meeting. I laugh a bit because I know that some people have been waiting for this for a very, very long time. And it's a simple fix that I think a lot of us will be using pretty much straight away. So for those of you who don't know, during a meeting, you can raise your hand virtually to let people know that you want to contribute without interrupting the conversation. To do that, all you need to do is select the Show Reactions in the meeting controls at the upper right area of the screen, and then choose Raise Your Hand. Everyone in the meeting will see that you've got your hand up. Meeting presenters will also receive a notification that your hand is raised. In meetings where attendees can't unmute themselves, this means that the presenter can then allow them to unmute and make their contribution. It just keeps everything a lot tidier and a lot easier, especially if you've got lots of people trying to contribute to one meeting. With this new feature, we can now see the order in which people have raised their hands. So instead of the poor moderator saying, oh, I'm not sure who was next, they can see very clearly there's a numbered order in which people put their hands up. So the moderator point of view, select Show Participants in the meeting controls at the upper right area of the screen. You'll see a list of everyone in the meeting, and anyone who's raised their hand will have a hand icon next to their name. When multiple people put their hand up, they'll be listed with a number in the order of which they raised their hand. If you're the presenter or the organizer of the meeting, you also have the option to lower everyone's hand at once. So if you've gone through most of the questions and you want to, that's the end of the section where people are allowed to contribute, you can just lower the hands and move on to the next section. But I think this numbered hands thing is one of the more simple features that we're talking about today, but definitely a big win. Moving on then, Teams sharing of channels. So with Microsoft Teams, obviously you've got the secure solutions to collaborate with external parties. And with a new feature called Teams Connect, you can now more easily connect with anyone outside your organization. But similar to what we were already discussing, this also gives system admins a range of controls and tools to ensure security. So while we're allowing collaboration and making things as easy as possible for people to work together, those security rules are still at the base of everything that we're doing. Teams Connect, which is this new feature, will be available during the first half of this year. So if you've not quite got it yet, it will be coming soon. So you can see in this video, you can add a whole team to a channel. So you share channels between teams and let people work together on projects if they're not already within that team. Shared channels can be shared with individuals and teams across multiple organizations. You'll be able to schedule a meeting, collaborate in real time on apps, and share channels with up to 50 teams and as many organizations as you need. I don't think I would advocate for sharing with 50 teams all in one go because things could get messy quite quickly. Try and limit to the absolute minimum of people that you really absolutely need to contribute to that project. But it's useful to know that if you did need people from external agencies or other teams within your organization, it is now much easier to get everybody onto the same project page and everyone's got the latest up-to-date information. Sticking with Teams, you can now also chat with team members via a Teams personal account who are outside your organisation. So you can see on the screen here, we've got the Teams desktop view and the phone view on the right-hand side. You can invite any Teams user to a chat using a personal email address or a phone number, and that will also still remain within the security and compliance policies of your organisation. So no one's going to be able to share information or spreadsheets or Word documents outside of the organisation if there are policies in place to protect those. You won't just be able to drop random documents into these chats, but they are really useful to have in place if you're talking with external contractors, external suppliers, other people who might be working on a project with you. I think, again, we just want to get away from this idea that you've got a whole world within email and a separate world within Teams, and it's difficult sometimes to stay on top of everything. The more you can keep everything within one environment, the more organised you'll hopefully be. So that's something that Teams has implemented for us to use, and definitely I can see that being really useful going forwards. So we've got some time now to do some Q&A. If anyone has any questions they would like to ask. In the meantime, while you're having to think about that, I will just talk about the IT strategy review. The IT strategy review is something that Bedrock have devised as a simple way to gain board level consensus on what is important, what can be fixed right now, and where you need a plan. A strategic IT review will give you the facts you need to make a positive change, whether that's to drive adoption of new technology, hire a new internal lead, brief a technology provider who could be Bedrock or could be someone else, or renegotiate with a current supplier. We work with CEOs to figure out where the gaps might be in their current setup and then map technology needs to their business goals. The Bedrock Maturity Index, which uses those 8 rocks we discussed earlier, shows how that technology is supporting business goals. So we're not in the business of just implementing loads of new tech because we think it's cool or it's just a brand new thing to have. We really want to make sure that everything that you're using is supporting your business and helping you achieve your goals going forwards. So that's why aligning your strategy with your business goals is absolutely the most important thing to do. So this is these kind of webinars where we talk through how to use your existing apps properly. They're the first stepping stone onto that. So you shouldn't be paying for any technology that you're not getting true value out of. And that's something we really feel strongly about. Okay, after a few questions during the webinar, everyone seems to have gone a bit shy. So we don't have any more at the moment, but I'll leave that open just for a little bit longer if you think of anything. And it just leaves me a little bit of time to tell you about next month's webinar. So the next What's New webinar will be in February, in fact on 3rd of February. And again, we'll be looking at the latest new releases from Microsoft, how we can implement those in your business and how some of those might help support your business goals. So please do feel free to join us for that. Oh, we've got a question. When using Teams to chat with external third parties, might be important for quality assurance reasons to keep the record archived. Is that possible in Teams? It depends what level of quality assurance you need for that. That's something I will have to dig into for you. Please do feel free to send me an email. I'll drop in my email address there, just because you're anonymous right now, so I can't see who you are. But if you send me an email with that question, I will be able to get back to you with some expert advice on that. Just dropping my email address there for you right now. There you go. Yeah, and I'll get back to you on that as soon as I can, because I know with quality assurance, obviously, there are very strict guidelines on what you need to do and how long you keep things for. So we'll make sure that we get the exact right information for you on that. Okay, anything else? No, okay, well, in that case, thank you very much for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you again at our next webinar in February. Thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye.